Alright, starting this video off a little late, sorry. So it's a 2005 TTR 125 Yamaha. And we're doing the top end on it. She'll start up, she runs good, but it just smokes like a sieve. So what I've done so far, and I will also go back and show you how to reinstall them so you can kind of, just reverse that and see how to take them off if you need to. Pretty easy stuff. On the back though, you got to remove your white panels that you see right over here. There's a bolt there. It's 10 millimeter. And it plugs in here and here. Take that off both sides. Then you can take off your seat. And the gas can, right there's a bolt, goes through the other side as well. Take those off. That pops your gas can off, and then you can see all the good stuff in here. I was going to show you, I don't know what I did with it, but there's the bracket that goes right here. Those are I believe that was a 12. Yep, that was a 12 millimeter. Double-sided on this one, so you gotta put a wrench in the back side or another socket. And we should take that off. And that undoes the top of the engine there. And I just removed the bolt right here on the carb. And the other bolt right there on the carb. And I'll get that intake taken off of there and go from there. Oh, and also, if you're wondering, I have the air filter out here. I'm going to clean that out. Still reusable. It's going to clean it out and put some new oil on it. Anyways, underneath this right-hand side of the bike, the white panel, once you take that off, there's a strap that you'll see right, if I can get the camera to show it, right there. And then you just pull down, unhook, flop it up. Take the little door off, and there's your air filter, so you can swap that out, put a new one on if you need to. So I'm just while I'm in here going ahead and doing that too. All right, so your timing is going to be over here on this side, the timing chain, and your wheel, and you got your valve covers here, right there, and there. So you can adjust your valves. If you ever need to adjust those, you pop those babies off. Put your set your gaps. That could be another video. Might do it on this one. We'll see. Either way, there is these 4 bolts. This one, that one, and that one right there. You gotta take those off. Remove that head. You have to take off this one here, this one here, and then. In case you were wondering, this little guy here is your timing chain tensioner. That's what spring loaded. You reset that when you have to take it off. I'll show you in the video. Take these babies off, pop that off, and that releases the tension on your chain, so you can take your timing chain off the wheel and go from there. When you put it back on, reset the little arm in there. It goes back. It holds itself back. Once you push it on there, it will automatically set itself. Good times. This one, it looks like those are 12 millimeter. There's another one right there. And another one back there. And you gotta undo those to get this engine dismounted. Alright, once you got those babies out, you can I use the bungee strap there to hold the kickstarter back, so you can get to that bad boy that is right back there, the one on the bottom there. Once you get that out, you gotta undo your clutch, which is that little guy right there. And what you're going to do on that, it's a little tricky here. on getting this clutch cable undone from here. It's hard to get the old camera. But anyways, when this little piece here, the cable, the stopper, when this is inside of here, you hold down on it like that, squeeze it real good, and then you would take your screwdriver or other lever, and you careful so you don't hit your wiring there to your stator. You take it like this and you pry it up. It's much easier said than done. But anyways, you pry that up, and as you're doing it at the same time, it actually is a little easier, but that's how you get that cable on. Those two right there. Took that front sprocket off. All right, next up, that's like a 8mm right there. Took that off. Get your good old cable off there. The probably easier way actually is to take this off before you undo this, as I showed you earlier. But either way, gets the same result. Then you got to take the old good old cover off here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8mm bolts, because you got to undo the stator. Alright, pop that CDI off of there, and the cover. There's your CDI there, obviously the cover. Pop that off, getting some extra excess oil, so I got the old rag down there, getting that. And you want to undo it from that little clip back there. Take this little guy out here, the hex head, and it's right in there. And you wiggle the old shifter off. There you go. And you got to take these two bad boys out right here, so you can get this bracket off. Otherwise, it gets hung up right there. All right, so a little extra oil was coming out of the bottom there, so for the pan under, but nevertheless, she is dismounted. Alright, so here she is pulled out. I got one of them I've done up here already. Anyways, yeah, when I pulled this out, you can see right there, it looks like it's been JB welded of some sort. Yeah, that's the pleasure of buying from dishonest people on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, it seems to be holding up, so I'm going to leave it alone, because the bike, like I said, it ran great. It's been put through the ringer and it's still ticking, but nevertheless, that still should have been disclosed. Either way, and we'll start doing this top end now. It's 24. You see this little slit right here. that in there, and you pop this baby right out, just like that. And that will expose, bear with me here, your timing chain. You know, I'll show you later when putting this baby back in, but see these little marks right here on your flywheel. That is your timing marks. You want this one right here, the single one. There's a little round circular black cover that unscrews from your the outside of the actual stator cover. You unscrew that, you see that in there, and you put that baby right there, and this line straight up. That means you're in timing. Like I said, we'll go with we'll go through that later. Next, I'm going to take this bad boy off right here. Looks like a couple of 8mm. We can pop that out. And that's your timing chain tensioner. Right, I forgot to record it, but middle of the timing chain gear, little bolt there. She comes right out. And it's an 18. I think it might have been a little loose, might be a 17, but I believe I used the 18. It works. It comes right out. And then we're going to take these two bolts out right there. Take the one out, pretty long. So one out here. And there you have it. We'll clean that up. If you can see that or not. Hopefully you can. It's pretty dirty in there. She was burning a little bit of oil, so we'll get that all cleaned up. And you can see the top of the piston there. If I can zoom in here a little bit on that. Turn the gasket up and out of the way, and we'll get this piston up. Just pop this baby right out there. Get your timing chain guides. And there's your upper cylinder. There's the old piston. So make sure you don't lose any parts. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this on the camera or not. I'm trying to get this thing to focus. Hang on. There's a little pin right up inside of there. It's a wrist pin. It's a retainer pin. It goes right inside of there. You gotta get that baby out. So you can see it there. It's that outside silver lining on this beast. I'm trying to get this. It's just hard to do it while I'm got the camera on, but you got to pry that baby up and out of there. And she'll go flipping across the room, so you got to kind of keep your hand over it so she doesn't go everywhere. So once you get it out, that's a little C-clip looking little deal. That's what holds that wrist pin in. So then be able to shove this wrist pin out. In a perfect world, I'll get it out when I don't have the camera in my hand, but anyways, you slide that baby out. It's coming a little bit, and then you can remove that piston. And there you have it. So here we have the new piston. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a little arrow right there. A little arrow right there. An arrow from this one You can see that the wrist pin is in there, or the sorry, the retainer pin. Now he's got to put the rings on. Get your two thicker rings as your upper rings, but a little bit thicker than your oiler ring. Get these babies on there, you just carefully wrap them around. And you're going to want to stagger all the little gaps in them. You're going to want to stagger them so that they're all on opposite sides of your piston. If they're up like this, even when they are compressed down like that, they're still putting oil through. Staggering them is going to keep that oil from going through and burning, like resulting in you doing this again. I get them all on there. As you can see, they are staggered. When you compress them to get them into the cylinder, they will tighten up. They are staggered ring, and then the other one you can see on this side is right there on the top part of that. And next we're going to clean up the surface here, so that way we can get our new gasket on. There's the old gasket on the bottom there, but our new gasket somewhere around here. Here it is. It's there's the new gasket for that bottom side there and the top side. And then there's also the one for your exhaust there, or your carburetor too. So that's kind of cool. That came in this kit. But anyways, you want a good and clean surface so you don't get any air gaps in there. And also, while I was off camera, I take a little hone here, and I went ahead and honed out the cylinder there. As you can see, it was nice and shiny. It kind of scuffs it up a little bit. Some people don't like doing that. Other people recommend doing it. Me, myself, I do it. Anyways, it's you keep it at kind of a constant speed. You know, these things collapse. Can't see it while I'm on the phone, but anyways, you constantly keep moving up and down as you're doing it. You don't just sit in one place. You want to get constantly up and down as you're doing that. Alright, we'll get that all cleaned up. Put the gasket on there. You got your dowel pin right there. Anyways, you take a little bit of you can take a little oil. 80W90, I believe this is. Give her a nice little coating so she'll stick to the walls. Won't all drain off. You can kind of see it in there. Makes it a little bit easier to get that baby slipped on there. I'm doing this a little bit more difficult way. Make sure your guide is in there. A new cylinder, and then I'm just kind of working these down one ring at a time. You compress them on either side with your fingers, and it's small enough to where you can put your thumb here and push downward pressure so it slides over top of your piston there. Alright, get yourself a magnet, or in this case I use a little O-ring puller. Stick it down in there good, hook your chain, bring it up and out, and then you've just got to work this baby down on there. Hopefully this camera will sit up here on my little makeshift mount. So it'll stay there. We can get this going. Push it back a little bit. Joint puller here. here in the instruction manual. It's going to show you a picture of this as your cylinder head tighten sequence. As you can see, it zigzags and then goes 1, 2. And also up here, as you can see, cylinder head bolt, there's 4 and 2, 22 Newton meters, 10 Newton meters, and or 16 foot-pounds, 7.2 foot-pounds. So that's what we got to torque those babies down to. I'm trying to get a good picture of this, so if anybody else needs to see any of this, you can screenshot it, whatever you need to do. A little part of the manual. All right, excuse me. So, ready to put this baby right back on top of here. Grab the new gasket over here first. And we're going to get this baby put on here. So, gotta take our old contraption off there. Put your timing chain through. Set the old metal gasket. It'd be kind of nice if the there. And this is great. So, hopefully I edited it out, but on your timing chain tensioner, earlier I said there's a little button to reset it. That's on the Kawasaki models. The Yamaha one, you've got to remove this bolt right here, which I already have loosened. I'll take it off here real quick. And you just stick a small flathead screwdriver down inside of there. If you can see it, you can tell that you put a anyways, you put your flathead into it like that. Small screwdriver straight in, and then as you can see, as you turn it, it bounces that back. When you take it out, it automatically pops out. So it's a little bit wonky. I will say I like the Kawasaki version a lot better, where you just push a little tab, push this back, and as soon as you push it in, it releases out and automatically does the tension there. So we will put this baby back on here to start getting it turned over. One, two, was that 3, 4? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are going to be at 16 foot-pounds. Then you come over here to these two side bolts. Those are going to be, I believe those are 7.2. So I've got Get the other two in here. Make sure you got your washers on there. I already got set to 16. You can see on there, but just 16. And we're just getting these side ones done. All right, when you're adjusting your valves, you've got your intake obviously over on this side that your carburetor goes onto, and you got your exhaust over here. Well, exhaust is going to be 0.0031 to 0.0047. You're going to do that with the feeler gauge. And you want to slide it right, you probably can't see it, right up here between your pin and the top of your valve. And you want just a little bit of a drag on it as you're pulling it out. If it need to be adjusted, you are going to loosen this nut and loosen this little square pin here. And then it usually takes a special tool. I don't have it, so I'm not going to do it here on the video. Which I think I do have the tool somewhere, but I cannot find it. But either way, I'm checking these, doing it my own way. It does work. I'm just not big on showing it how I do it on the video, because you got to be real careful, otherwise you could jack it all up. I've done it before and it works, but like I said, not going to show it on here. Anyway, that's how you do your valves, even though this isn't really a valve video. It's just kind of a quick crash course. Alright, I wasn't going to bore you with putting the old engine back in, but nevertheless, we'll just show you real quick. It's just reverse, obviously, of what you did earlier. You got it's 12 millimeter right there. That's the bolt that goes through. And you've got your 12 millimeters up here and here, there, and there on the front bracket. And another one right down there. And then you've got one, it's kind of hard to see. It's right there. Anyways, get them mounted back up in there. Get all those torqued down. And then you're good to start hooking up the carburetor and everything else now. Inspect your little rubber gasket there. It's basically an O-ring on your carb. Make sure it's all cleaned up where your intake's gonna go. That's on your intake there. Anyways, make sure you got a good gasket. You got your two screws. You go right through there into those two holes right there. Good to go.